Okay, so you probably just received the notification that we are recording. So welcome everyone. If you are here again to listen to a webinar that is how to work flexibly as a social media manager, then you are certainly in the right spot. I'm going to do my best here to keep my eyes on the waiting room so no one gets left out. But as I said, everyone is busy and we try to run things on time. So let me go ahead and get started. Hi, Kelly. Kelly from Team
Hey,
Hey There. Good to see you.
Hi, guys.
I was just letting our participants and attendees know that they are more than welcome to do camera on, camera off, whatever is easiest. Hopefully you're safely multitasking. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We are recording and I'm keeping my eye on the waiting room. And another quick note, thank you to anyone that is here that heard about this webinar from Ellie Ander. We owe you a huge thank you, Ellie. And you also might have your camera off. I know you have to be in different places at the same time too. So thank you for being involved with this webinar with us. Kelly on my team, on Team Hey There social media, if you don't mind just keeping your eye on that chat, we really appreciate that. And no problem for anyone that is in a number of places right now. It's summer, we get it. So what we are promising you today is 30 minutes or less. We are recording. We'll make sure that you get the playback should you miss any details. But for now, like I said, if you are here to listen, to learn about how to work flexibly as a social media manager, then you are in the right place. Between myself and my colleague, Kelly Robinson, we'll consider ourselves your hosts today. Again, thank you so much to your inviting host, Ellie, for helping us get the word out about this webinar. We love all she does at North Shore Chicago Moms. And we got to know Ellie not too long ago as part of a collaboration that Hey There Social Media did with the Local Moms Network. So giving you a huge pat on the back, Ellie, because you are a shining star. You are such a dedicated student and ongoing learner. Ellie sat through our training that Hey There Social Media leads to really empower women to become independent social media managers. So she has done what we are talking about today. And Kelly on my team is also here and speaks authentically from living and breathing and doing this work every day. So again, if you leave this webinar with a clearer idea of what the heck it means to be a freelancer, to be a flexible social media manager, then we have done our job. And of course, we will give you some next steps there. Kelly, anything quickly that you'd like to share about yourself before I head to the agenda?
Sure. Hey, everybody. Welcome. And Ellie is on, y'all, just in case anyone's looking for her. She's just stuck at the vet. So I just want to make sure everybody knew that. But yes, I am so thrilled you guys are all here today. I found out about Hey There myself a few years ago when I was looking to kind of make a professional pivot. I have 4 children ranging from 7 to 16. And not only do I want and need to work, but I need to be able to do so in a way that prioritizes my family's needs. And so I need the flexibility as much as I wanted. I actually really need it. So I was so grateful to be able to find an opportunity where I could work in a professional capacity and still be able to prioritize my kids' schedules and all that. I'm sure many of you know how that is. So
amazing. Thank you, Kelly. And I'm quickly stopping sharing just to make sure I don't have anyone stuck in the waiting room. I think we're good to go here, but just don't want that to happen. So great. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Christine. Hey, everyone who is just joining us. We are rolling here. So let me hop over to our agenda. Let's talk a little bit about what you're going to hear specifically today. We want to make sure that everyone has a strong lay of the land and understanding of what the social media industry looks like today, right? It's an ever-changing, evolving industry. It's one that offers tremendous opportunity to freelance workers, to entrepreneurs, to flexible workers. So we're going to give you, just like I said, a lay of the land there, because spoiler, it is not too late to get into social media marketing. In fact, it is only continuing to grow at exponential rates. We'll talk a little bit about the skills that you need. So that's natural, take a quick minute and reflect and say, well, what sorts of skills do I bring to the table? Oh, I really love doing that, but I didn't realize that that's something I can do as a social media manager. We'll make sure to give you some how-tos, how you can get into this particular line of work. Nothing is clearer than hearing real life examples. So we'll talk about a few of the women that we see across the country doing this work and see if you can see yourself in their shoes. And one of our top FAQs is, what can you earn doing this work? So we will spill the tea and make sure to give you some of those numbers so you can start to crunch and see that really being a freelance social media manager is as entrepreneurial as it gets, and the sky is the limit. So with that, let's just jump right in. Kelly, as always, thank you for watching chat, and chime in as you would like.
Sorry, I muted myself. I'm in the chat, but also just wanted to mention, if anyone else is able to mute themselves, we have a smidge of an echo, just so that we have the recording for anybody that's not on right now. If you don't mind muting yourself, because there's a weird echo. Thanks.
Amazing. Okay, as long as you can hear me, just stop me if you can't. All right, so let's talk about Marie. So we like to think of Marie as everyday 25 to 55 years of age, a woman who just says, look, I want a professional skill set that I can earn an income. I want to have better work-life integration. I want to be able to work flexibly. I want to re-enter the workforce, but I want to do so on my terms. So that is something that Marie scratches her head every day and says, well, what is it that I can do? And once I figure out what I want to do, how can I get there? So that's where we talk about being an independent social media manager. So like I said, social media is an industry that continues to grow. I know the slide you're looking at is a real eye chart full of information here, but the two biggest takeaways are, as we said, social media continues to grow. Businesses every day are struggling. Just the last couple of weeks, we've been hearing all the buzz with threads. What do you think that's doing to small business owners' heads? It's making their head spin and think, oh, great, another place I need to be. So social media is something small business owners need help with. And a lot of times the female decision maker in the home is who a small business might be targeting. So we like to say, who better than a member of their target audience to be a social media manager? And then the other part that I want you to take away from this slide is, this is where our team at Hey There Social Media gets really excited about freelancing. It's one of our favorite words because being a freelancer is being an entrepreneur, and freelance is flexible work. Freelance is a mainstream way to work. And let's be honest, just not everyone fits within a traditional corporate environment. And so not only is freelance mainstream today, the figures for freelancing are only growing. The workforce is moving into flexible work arrangements. And one of the things that data is showing us is that there will be a need for upskilling and advancing of skills and micro trainings. Basically, it's not just enough to know how to do a certain job. You have to know how to thrive within that environment. So freelancing is something that my colleague Allie and I, we wrote this article for Fast Company where we said, while it is a very empowering way to work, it is dangerous to tell people to just go freelance, because you do need to learn the complexities in order to thrive. Okay, let's talk a little bit over here about becoming a social media manager. So to level set, what exactly does this mean? What are you talking about? So again, as a freelance professional, the general arrangement is that a business will hire you as a contract team member. So you are hired as an outsourced partner by a particular business. You are technically self-employed. You are a freelancer, an entrepreneur. You will hear these words 30 more times in this webinar, I guarantee. But it's a very empowering way to work because, like I said, you are your own boss and you are in charge of managing the moving parts of your business. One of the neat things that we love about social media is it does give you a wide range of services to offer. So a lot of times, Kelly and I will talk to women that say, well, social media, like content creation, being a community manager, and the answer is yes to both, but it's many other things too, such as social media strategy. You can offer advice to businesses. You can help them come up with marketing plans and content ideas, not necessarily just being their manager. So being a social media manager gives you many different services that you can offer and really specialize in. As for the many avenues to work, that goes hand in hand with being an entrepreneur. If you primarily work directly with clients, perhaps these are businesses that you have formed a relationship with. Perhaps they're businesses that you've met over the years. whether you were their customer or you were working in another capacity. And at some point, you directly contract with them, but you might get referred to work with other agencies. So like I say, many avenues to work. You can work directly with your own clients, but you can also be an outsourced team member to companies. So the sky is the limit with ways that you can work as a freelance professional. And we just want to at least open your eyes that it is not only clients that you directly interact with on your own. All right, let me jump a little bit into the benefits of the industry in general. Sure, I am biased, but let's be honest, who doesn't want to know someone that does social media marketing? It is a very in-demand skill set. It is a very in-demand industry. It's obviously changing rapidly. It's something that businesses value. They know they need to have a strong social media marketing plan, but they just can't keep up with it because, again, they're focused on growing their business. So you as a professional in the social media space are inherently in demand. Flexible work. So we love the word flexible. We love all things flexibility. And the neat thing with being a social media manager is that it is truly flexible work. So just picture during the pandemic, so many businesses were forced to let people work from home. And so they said, oh, there you go, you're working flexibly. You're able to log in from your home office. But we find that working flexibly sometimes means that it's still really rigid hours. But when you are doing truly flexible work like social media, you make your own schedule. You decide if you're going to take care of your clients' metrics in the morning, maybe before your kids wake up, or if you're going to hammer out some content creation during the evening, maybe you're more of a night owl. There are, of course, exceptions to certain deadlines, but for the majority, this is such flexible work that it's a really empowering industry to work in if you value that sort of flexibility. Kelly, I'll stop there just to see. Did you have anything to add on that?
Yeah. Okay. I'm make sure I'm unmuted. That really resonated with me as a busy mom with lots of obligations and things in life that I was sort of, I knew that it wasn't possible for me to work on someone else's timeline, someone else's goals, someone else's schedule. So the idea that I could have my own career and business and be able to do that was really appealing to me. Also just the idea that when Emily mentioned like ramping up or ramping down, knowing that, for example, when my kids go back to school in the fall, I'll be ready to ramp up. But right now I needed to be able to ramp to kind of ease down just a little bit. And then also financially knowing that if I have some big obligation or goal, I know that I can take on work and clients and things according to those needs or those goals. And I have the ability to control that. And I can be empowered in not only in my time and what my weekly schedule looks like, but really in the bigger picture of what flexibility truly means and achieving those goals for myself and my family.
Thank you, Kelly. You make a great point about, of course, ramping up workload, but setting one's own rates. That's something too that while at face value, some people might think, oh, that is incredibly intimidating and scary. And it does need learned. It's a practice that you will just work at for the duration of being a freelance professional. But it is really empowering to say, well, hey, I know I want to hit this particular financial goal. And so therefore, I'm going to look at projects that I can at least charge X, and then perhaps sideline temporarily certain other projects that, like I said, you set your own rate for. And like anything, the more of these projects you do, the more you can increase your rate. So it is a whole skill with being a freelance professional with regards to setting your rates, but it's something that, as we said, you are in control of that as an entrepreneur. By the way, feel free, if anyone has questions, drop them in the chat. We will make sure to get to them. Kelly, thank you again for keeping your eye there. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how do you know if this is a good fit for you? So here are just a couple of categories. Are you someone who's creative? Are you social media savvy? Do you consider yourself a clear communicator? So this is one thing that we hear a lot. Well, I'm creative, but I don't really know how that applies to this particular field, or I want to do something where I can leverage my creativity. So when you do social media marketing, you might be really strong visually, Perhaps you enjoy using tools like Canva, or maybe you've never heard of Canva, but heck, you can put together great color schemes and you have a good time doing it. That's all part of using your creativity as a social media manager to really create compelling content for the local businesses, for the medium-sized businesses. Any business that has a social media presence, they need to be telling their story. And if that is something that ticks for you and allows you to be creative, then it's something you can do every day in this field. So the social media savvy question, we love to ask women, well, what do you use social media for personally? And while many folks have love-hate relationships with social media at times, there's got to be things that you enjoy using social media for. And if, for example, something might be about being connected to others, then that's something that you can do to help a business connect with their customers. And even if that business has connections with its current customers, part of your job ongoing is to connect to new and different customers for them. So think about that. What do you like to do with social media, and what businesses do you follow, and how could you picture yourself helping them with their social media? This clear communicator piece. So we have a lot of people that say, well, I enjoy writing. I don't really get around to it very much. Or they're really strong verbally, or they enjoy being on camera. Maybe they don't want to be on camera, but they can, of course, come across clearly in social media content. So written posts or visual posts or video, if you have any strength and interest in communication, social media is a really great fit for you for a duration of time or ongoing. Ellie, thank you for hopping in there. If there's anything you'd like to add, you go right ahead. Otherwise, we're going to keep rolling here. Great. Glad to see you made it back. Thanks so much again for bringing us all together here. All right, so let me share a couple of stories. So when we talk about women that are doing this work today, independent social media managers come from a variety of different backgrounds. So while you might think, okay, so you have to have a background in marketing, that's not the case. I have to come from a PR background, not that either. We have seen women that are full-time teachers and they do social media on the side, or they were former teachers and have gotten into this. Like I said, writing, so journalists, customer service, retail, any of that experience is directly applicable to working in social media. The part to brush up on is just the various tactics and strategies of the social networks. We also have plenty of women from around the country, different family configurations, and as I said, living in different time zones that have decided to get into doing this work, however that looks for them. Like Kelly said, if they are ramped up and doing a lot of client work, or if it's a quieter season and they are only working with a couple of clients, we see it all. Now you have the benefit of not only Kelly being here, but Ellie, of course, from Chicago North Shore Moms. But we have a couple of stories here from some women that have gone through our program, have done this work as independent social media managers. So while your eyes are glancing and reading a little bit about Sansari and Layla, Kelly, I'd love to just have you talk a bit about your experience.
Sure, absolutely. Kind of even jumping back to the slide before where Emily was talking about the different backgrounds, I have the opportunity of getting to know all of the women that we train, and then the way that we connect them with clients all around the country. So just because you live in a certain area, you don't actually have to have a client right there locally. I have a client that's across the country that I have never met in person. I probably never will. And I've been working with her for a couple of years now. And I still do all of her content and I run all of her social media. So it's really neat that the possibilities are truly limitless when you think about, like, as Emily said, like every different type of industry needs social media support, and you're not locked into a certain geographical region or anything like that. And so that's definitely lends itself to the opportunity, and then also kind of the freedom of working in different fields. I love the variety. I love that I have clients that range everything from health spas to hair salons to food to an international educational advocacy advocacy organization, just across the board, authors, you name it. So that type of variety and creative outlet and everything is really amazing. I know that because I do get to work so closely with all the women that are our insiders in our Hey There community, it is really neat to see how they've taken their vast experience and their passions and all the things they're interested in and sort of marry that with finding client work or the client work that we actually, we provide leads for clients as well, and being able to kind of pursue those interests and things that, you do want to work more on. And so it's just, that was eye-opening because I kind of assumed that I had to sort of know everything, or I had to go out and find all the clients, or I would be in a certain niche market. And none of that has been true. It's been a lot of exciting variety and opportunity. So.
Thank you, Kelly. I so appreciate that. Ellie, you know that Kelly and I are more than happy to continue going through everything, but while we have you on camera, did you have anything to add? We just would love to give you a chance.
No, I don't have anything to add. I'm just excited that you guys are reaching so many people today.
Thank you. Couldn't do it without you. All right, we'll skip to this next slide here. So this, it's useful to think, well, so, okay, if I'm picturing myself doing social media, what would a day in my life look like? So you're looking at a quote from a woman that went through our program. She's an East Coaster, Kimberly Herman. She is someone who had a background. She was worked in dental practices, a dental assistant, had some customer service experience. She is someone who came to the program and said, look, I'm in, let me learn this new skill. And spoiler, her quote is actually a couple of years old now because she has continued to teach herself things. She's really niched down into doing social media for podcast hosts. She is someone who, we talk a lot about Canva as a tool to make images for social media, but she taught herself Adobe, and the woman even learned how to do podcast production. So she's someone who just said, well, I don't really know where this is going to take me, but she kept her eyes open for opportunity. One of her clients that is still her client today is someone that she met through Hey There. Kimberly has gone to her client's retreat and coached about social media. So I feel like I can speak for Kimberly and just say that she's someone who said, I can't see exactly what this will look like, but I'm going to jump in, as she says, see where this takes me. And so, her creative wheels turn every single day. She's a self-starter and is excited to learn new things. As a very, whether you're extroverted or introverted, if you are someone who likes to make connections and help local businesses, you get to exercise that muscle every day as well. And then, as I said, with Kimberly's story, in and of itself, about new opportunities unfold that you never would have thought possible if you just said, well, do I want to be a social media manager? There's so much more to it. So I'll watch our time here. So let's talk about this burning question so many people say is, so what can I make doing this? So as you're looking at our earning potential slide, I mentioned in the very beginning of this webinar that as an entrepreneur, as an independent contractor, yes, the sky is the limit. So what we have for you is a little snapshot to just say that, first of all, most of the women that have gone through our program, and many, many freelance professionals outside of our community, they will work on a number of clients at one time. So many factors affect this based on where you live in the country, what size business your client is, but we see this minimum monthly service range around $500 to $750 an hour, a month. So that gives you an hourly range of what you can make on perhaps the lower end or the smallest small business owner side. And then, as you can see, large projects can go on up from there. Now, we could have a whole follow-up webinar about how do you begin to delegate your time and how do you spend what time on what size client. But like we said, we did break this out to show you just a rough hour range that your time can be billed at when you're doing this on a freelance basis. Now, this next slide here, again, we're so grateful for anyone that is listening live and catching the recording. You might say, okay, this sounds really interesting, but I'm just super busy right now, or maybe in a year. So I want to at least help you scratch that itch that it might be the perfect time when everything is imperfect, because as you can see from those pie charts, we know that, kids, and everything else. How do you make time to get into something else? Well, that is where, of course, I get very excited about just upskilling. Upskilling is a term that you hear a lot more now as there's buzzy terms like the future of work and flexible work. Well, You can upskill yourself, which simply means it's a retraining. It's not learning brand new skills. It could be advancing your knowledge in a specific area. So if you're here today and you're at all curious, we would encourage you to pursue that curiosity, however that looks, whether Hey There helps you, or you hop on LinkedIn Learning and take some classes, or watch some free YouTube videos to just learn a little bit more about a curiosity that you have. And do not give yourself the excuse that I just don't have the time. There's never enough time. As you can see, flexibility, fulfillment. Yes, we love that part about this work, but it is a very versatile skill set to have. Okay, as I'm getting a cursor happy over here. So this slide here, another eye chart, a lot of information on it, but we want you to know that everything that we've talked about today is exactly what Hey There Social Media does every single day to empower people. So Hey There has what we call core training, and it's a tuition-based program. This program is something that we've been delivering for about 3 years and is built off of a decade of experience that I had my freelance agency and built it with freelance professionals as well. So in a nutshell, we want you to know that there is a way that within 6 weeks, you can learn everything you need to know about being a social media manager, and also how to thrive in this whole freelance space. Because as you can see from this wheel or this pie on the left, there are topics that are very specialized for social media, like metrics, like ads. But there are other categories like building your portfolio or prospecting that we touch on to make sure that you don't leave this program feeling like you know everything about social, but you have no idea how to get a client, or you have no idea how to keep that client happy. So this is what Kelly and I spend our time most of the day, not only teaching the program, but talking to women that are just curious of how this could look for them. So you're saying there's a tuition and there's payment plans and there's a support membership afterwards. Yes to all of the above. And we could have probably spent the whole half hour covering this. But we just want you to know that we have built this curriculum off of real world experience. And what we're exceptionally proud of is our secret ingredient of the ongoing support. Because we say that as soon as you finish core training, it's really your first day into working with Hey There, being a part of the community and surrounding yourself with other freelance social media managers. So I know that was a whole mouthful, but Kelly, did you have anything to add? If not, maybe we'll see if Ellie had anything to say.
I only just want to chime in that really is the secret sauce, because there are so many different things you could go out there in the world and learn and do, but to put it into practicality and to be actually feeling confident and ready to hit the ground running as soon as you're done with your training, and then to have the ongoing support to bounce ideas off of one another, problem solve, brainstorm, figure out how to charge for retainer fees, et cetera. That is invaluable. And that has given all the women in our community the ability to feel so successful right from the get-go. And so we're really, really grateful for our community. And so it's not just the training, you don't just graduate and we say, bye, good luck. Like we all get to stay together, and then we all work remote, we all work for ourselves, but yeah, we have this great internal community of support. So
I do want to just add, you guys also provide a bunch of amazing templates. So to start being a social media manager, you're not just reinventing the wheel. I love all the templates that you guys were able to provide.
absolutely.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you. Yes. And Ellie, you, I know on your LinkedIn, you have our proof of completion NFT. So it's a very Web3 digital certification. Some way to show that, hey, I have these new skills and I am filling my time, advancing my skills, and making myself more versatile with the different jobs and projects that I can take on as a freelance professional. So that's Hey There's core training. And we have a little teaser that we are excited just about this time to be rolling out a core training Lite. So as busy as the previous slide was, this one's a little cleaner, just to show that we are offering, we'll call it an introductory version of our program for just people that are saying, hey, I'm curious about getting started in this business. And this particular program is what we say is it's upskilling in a box. So we'll make sure to get you the link to the site and you can learn more about this. As I said, it is launching soon. It is currently on our site, but not quite available for sale yet. So technically you're hearing about it first here on this webinar with Ellie. So thank you for letting us have a space for that one. And then this, everyone, so as we wrap up our time, and I will have to chat and see if there's any specific questions we can address, but really for next steps, all you have to do is schedule a call with us. So I know you listened to a lot and we're really grateful that you gave us the time to do so, but we know that you need to hear how this looks for you. We know that women say, okay, well, I'm curious about this particular skill of mine, or how would it look if I had clients in this particular industry? So what you do, you head to our site, and this QR code will absolutely take you to our site. And you can go ahead and scroll right to the footer, and we have a Calendly where you can schedule a call with us. You will talk with Kelly, myself, or one of our other colleagues, Allie. You get one of us, so you're speaking with exactly who you heard from today. And we also are happy to talk to you via email, or if you want to DM us on Instagram. We'll make sure that if this is something you're even remotely interested in, that you're going to get all the possible discounts and the best promos that we can offer using a code that we have for Ellie through the Chicago North Shore Moms. So that is what this is for. And Ellie, thank you for having Hey There in your link tree over on Instagram. That's what the far right screenshot is, to say that if you don't get any of this because maybe you're driving during this webinar, you can at least head over to Ellie's Instagram and connect with us that way. So as I head over to chat, again, we want to thank you for being here and listening to us live. And this QR code will take you, like I said, to our site, and you can read anything you would like to. But next step, schedule the call with us. However much time you have, we would love to hear from you.
A question did just come in. So
Great.
You want to check it out?
Okay, sure. Let me, I think everyone can see this. Okay, great. Got new messages. Sorry, everyone. All right, let's see. Okay, upskilling, quick question. Okay, so this is Devrat over abroad asking about, you're currently working as a social media freelancer finding clients. After having worked with 20 to 25 clients and establishing that credibility, I want to start my own firm. Is this the right approach? Well, first of all, I would say absolutely, absolutely, to start your own firm as a social media freelancer. Yes, because again, we live in an era now, lucky us, that all it takes is the right skill set and resourcefulness, and you can build a team very quickly of people that can do this work for you. It doesn't require a full brick and mortar office. It doesn't require 90 hours a week. So that's absolutely a way to approach this as a freelancer. And then this next part, how can I find more clients as mostly remote jobs are looking for a long-term relationship and onboarding me as a full-time employee? That's interesting. I feel like there are plenty of sites that offer job listings. So that could be sites like, I know the Mom Project really caters towards women. And a lot of those arrangements are full-time employment status situations, but there are plenty of other sites like We Are Rosie is one that offers freelance marketing roles. I'm sure most people on this webinar have at least heard of Upwork. That is a global organization that offers freelance gig type work. So to be honest, Devrat, I actually hear the opposite from folks where they say, I find plenty of job opportunities that are project-based, and it's sometimes less likely to find the full-time roles if you're looking at this as a freelance professional. So I'm happy to talk more about that with you. I know I want to be sensitive to our time, and if we start to have people drop off, Fiverr, I certainly won't sit here and speak to all the different platforms of positions that are offered, but I will at least say that yes, it is a good approach to go out on your own and just start to Google around. And if you'd like to connect with us, follow us on Instagram, DM us that way, and we can always talk more. But thank you again. Thanks again, Ellie, for making this possible. Thank you all for your time. We'll make sure to get the recording out to everyone. And we hope you have a great day. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks
Hi,
Kelly.
guys. Thanks for
Bye,
joining.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Good
you.
day.